click the mute button. Um, as always, please do not put us on hold because we will get your on-hold music, and then we're going to have to mute everyone, and it's going to make it less interactive. So again, thank you for all of your time today. We appreciate it. This is an opportunity to share some information from one of our elite strategic partners. We've had a great relationship with Continuum. They've been a great partner of TAG's, a great partner to many of our TAG members in their ability to support your efforts in managed IT services and building some extraordinary recurring revenue streams for all of our organizations. As you know, VoiceSmart, who we're partners with here at TAG, has done a real nice job of accelerating their managed services offering. Mark has done an excellent job in that organization, our partner there. He's going to share some of his insight during this webinar, and I believe we are currently the number 2 Continuum reseller within TAG over at VoiceSmart. So Mark has done a real nice job, and like I said, he's on the call with us today. So we have a few different representatives from Continuum. We've got Keith Foda, who will be doing some introductions here. Derek Owen, who many of you know and have met, and Mike Barnes as well. So I'm going to let Keith take it away. We'll go through a webinar here, and then we'll have time at the end for any questions. You could either chat or we'll get on the line with you. So great. With that, again, please mute your phones, and Keith, take it away.
Thank you, Brian. So I'd love to introduce myself to everyone on the webinar today. My name is Keith Foda, and I recently joined Continuum about 6-7 weeks ago to head up the telco vertical for the organization. When we talk about telco, we have a slightly different perspective on it, and the reason I was brought in really was to not only focus on really kind of the tag channel as well as the master agent VAR channel, but also to focus specifically on the infrastructure providers as well. So my background is about 17 years of doing deals with the likes of British Telecom, AT&T, Verizon, Telmex on an international basis, and CLEX, both large and small. So our vision and our reach is kind of broadened in the marketplace, as you guys probably are aware. AT&T, Verizon, all these guys are coming out with managed service offerings, and we're looking to support that channel, a little bit further downstream. Today we're here to talk about finding revenue in the cloud. And we're going to kind of break this thing up into a couple different pieces. But as most of you sit here today, you're all TAG members or are about to become TAG members and are most likely involved in managed IT services today or about to get into it. The reality is that there are millions of small to medium businesses today, about 6 million, that are embracing the cloud. And here we're going to talk about today, really what that means to you and how to take advantage of it. From my perspective, there's never been a more exciting time to be into the managed services and cloud services environment. I joined Continuum because I could not believe the opportunity that was out there in the marketplace. We'll talk a little bit about that, but I hope you guys are all as excited as I am about moving your customers to the cloud, how to take advantage of that, and how to maximize the financial opportunity associated with it.
Keith, this is Brian at TAG. Just so you know, 100% of the audience are TAG members. We do have a partner that's partnered up with one of our members in Phoenix, so it's 100% TAG on the line.
Okay, great. Derek, next slide, please. So those of you who are familiar and might not be completely familiar with the Continuum platform, we're a fully integrated IT management software and services company. And we really focus on 3 different areas. First, our roots are really in remote monitoring and management of servers, desktops, and mobile devices. We also provide, backup and disaster recovery to our Vault offering. And today, more specifically, for the majority of this presentation, we'll be focusing on our new cloud offerings and those capabilities. One of the unique differentiators about Continuum is we manage and run everything desktops, you've got mobile device management, or you're working or monitoring or leveraging our cloud capabilities, all of that can be run from our single pane of glass. We provide a complete end-to-end, fully integrated service, uniquely positioned as a pay-as-you-go model. So there's no, in most cases, there's no real upfront cost. We partner with you so you can grow your business on a pay-as-you-go basis. And what is truly unique, and I think really fantastic, from a complete end-to-end offering perspective, is the fact that everything we do is fully supported by our world-class NOC and our 24/7 service desk. Derek, next one, please. From a business model perspective, Continuum is really unique in the marketplace as the only pure channel provider. So really what that means to you is we're dedicated to your success. The only way we can win is as a partnership. The NOC works for you. The service desk answers the phone for you on behalf of for your customers, on behalf of your organization. We bring instant operational efficiency to your organization by providing a completely end-to-end managed service. We can help you, and this is part of that process, migrating to really the cloud technology space. And again, we're interesting in that we are a software as a service end-to-end platform that allows us to scale instantaneously reflective of your needs in the marketplace. We also are continuously looking at and bringing new offerings to the marketplace that allow you to tap into new opportunities as we move forward. Derek, the next one, please. So really, one of the big advantages that we bring to your organizations, and quite frankly, the biggest barrier to entry into managed services in the cloud in particular, is what we call labor arbitrage. Not only do we provide an end-to-end platform, but what we really provide is really kind of labor as a service. If you were to look at this chart, it does a pretty good job of providing a visual on the challenge associated with that. If you were to, and this applies both to the NOC and to the service desk as well, but if you were to staff up and try to get into, providing an efficient, cost-effective service desk, and let's say in this example, you staffed it with 4 people, on Monday or Sunday between 8 and 11, you'd be overwhelmed, right? Your calls wouldn't be answered on time, your customers would be upset and probably leaving, and then after 2 or 3 in the afternoon, probably all the way to 6, you got 4 people sitting around, making paper airplanes. The only way you can really effectively maximize the economic efficiency of that environment is to spread it across, a large number of customers and organizations. So what we provide is basically a pay-as-you-go, on-demand growth model that allows you to most effectively and efficiently utilize the labor associated with not only supporting your customers from an engineering point of view, but also from a service desk customer service point of view. Derek, the next slide, please. So before we talk about the cloud offerings, I'd like to just take a couple of minutes for those of you not completely familiar with our offerings. As most of you probably know, we started out as a remote monitoring and management company. That's really where our roots are from our history. And RMM has been and will continue to be one of our flagship offerings. The biggest difference between us and the other RMM providers is, as I mentioned, the NOC and the 24/7 service desk, which fully supports, our end-to-end solution. Our service desk enables us to act as a full extension of your team. And when you roll out RMM or any of our other offerings, we're acting on your behalf. Really, over the last 3.5 years, we've continued to grow the organization and added backup and disaster recovery, and more recently, which is what we're focused on here today, is our cloud offerings. So the Continuum platform, just to give you a quick overview one more time, everything is run from a single pane of glass. That is everything from remote monitoring and management all the way up to all the new cloud offerings that we're about to show you here today. Being a fully integrated service supported by the NOC and the service desk brings greater operational efficiency to your organization, and our pay-as-you-go pricing model allows you to grow and scale your business without taking the financial capex risk up front that's normally associated with getting into an exciting new business like this. Derek? So there is tremendous market demand out there. It's interesting that we have leveraged a study from Tech Isle today, which these guys did a survey from I don't even know how many SMBs out there in the marketplace, but basically what came out was their top 10 priorities. Our cloud offerings basically address, 5 of the top 10 SMB priorities from 2014 going into 2015. So as it relates not just to our offerings, but things like mobility solutions, cloud computing, collaboration, managed services, and virtualization, all this fits right into the sweet spot of the new cloud offerings we're bringing to the marketplace. Derek? So what we're really all about is helping you make the leap to profitability in the cloud. And these 2 new offerings that we're bringing to the marketplace, which we're very excited about, are going to help you to support hybrid environments as your customers move from on-premise servers to start spinning things up in the clouds. It allows you to become a more educated cloud consultant in the marketplace and really be that trusted advisor to your customers. Most importantly, it's going to provide you the ability to have a solution or embrace that business shift. We'll talk about this, I'm sure, later on in the presentation, but 60% of SMBs are saying that they're moving to the cloud within the next 3 to 4 years. You're either going to be in front of that or you're going to be trying to catch up all the time. And of course, with our end-to-end solution with the new cloud offerings, we're delivering a cloud technology efficiently with an end-to-end fully supported solution. So, Derek Derek and I talked about this slide a little bit, and I think it's important to focus on the fact that the SMB cloud services is going to reach about $125 billion. There are a couple other data points that I think are just as important, and quite frankly, they're the reason I joined this organization. Within the next couple of years, as we mentioned, 60% of SMBs are going to be moving to the cloud. Who's going to be taking them there? Is it going to be us and our partners? We would certainly like to think so. This $125 billion, though, is only cloud-focused. In addition to that, specifically for your organizations and where you're heading, there's a $320 billion managed services opportunity that's going to unfold between now and 2020. So within the next year, 6 years on top of the 125, there's another $300 billion opportunity. So I see this as a tremendous opportunity for us not only to enter the market together as partners, but to lead and grab as much of, I see this as a land grab opportunity for everyone involved. Derek, next one, please. So we can provide you with a couple different ways to get to the cloud. First of all, there's C3, which is our new infrastructure as a service offering. We launched C3 earlier this quarter, and it's really all about just taking infrastructure to the cloud and providing a path for hybrid migration. And the second one is File Sync and Share, and we're in the process of just releasing that now. This is a product that we'll be releasing, sometime within the next several weeks, and it supports mobility, collaboration, and really is a nice path to get clients into the cloud. Next, Derek. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Mark. He's the president and CEO of Voice Smart Networks, and I thank you for your time. Mark?
Great, thanks very much, sir. Can everybody hear me all right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Great, well, I'm going to show you a couple of clients that we have taken to the cloud in the last year and how we've done that with the overall managed service solution using Continuum NOC and you move to the next slide, please?
Mark, for some reason, we're getting a lot of echo.
Alright, there we go. Fine, is that good again?
No, unfortunately. Are you on a headset?
I am on a headset. Hold on. Alright, I'll switch off the headset. Alright, how's that?
Yeah, still getting a little bit of it. Just for everybody, again, please mute your phones. Derek and Keith as well, if Mark is presenting, just in case. I don't know where if it's Mark or somewhere else that's happening. Try it again, Mark, and see.
Alright, how's this, Brian? Is that better?
Yeah, I think we're just going to have to make do.
Alright, hold on, let me just move to the other end of the coffee bar here. Alright, is that any better?
We're getting a little bit, but let's just, we'll just push forward.
Okay, alright. So with TriMark was one of our existing customers, and they had 3 offices with users spread across the 3 offices. Really, they had a Citrix environment. One of their offices. Sorry, but I'm currently away from the phone right now.
The attendees are now muted.
Okay, back to this. And
The attendees are now unmuted.
We there, Brian?
The attendees are now muted.
Yeah, you're muted. You've muted us, Mark.
Hold on. Hey, Brian, I haven't muted anybody.
Mark, you there?
I am.
Okay, yeah, if you do the 3 pound, you've muted. You sound okay, though. I think you keep pushing forward.
Okay, so you got my back again?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you. So with TriMark, we essentially decided to offer some desktops as a service, and with that, using the Continuum remote server care to monitor the virtual servers that we have out with one of our partners, and then the desktop care that we're using to provide the ongoing help desk with the service desk. So in this model, you can see that we've got 2 servers that are out in the cloud. We've got 11 users that we are providing the ongoing desktop services with Continuum. We're monitoring their firewalls and routers. And then RapidScale is the company that we had chosen at the time to use for our desktop as a service offering. I will note that we have moved from them since that time, but it was a good starting point. We then have Microsoft Office 2010 included in it, unlimited storage, virtual servers. We have 2, which are being monitored with remote server care, Citrix file share, and then the email accounts across it. So the pricing on that is $2,259 per month. And this is something that the customer had absolutely no concerns with the pricing. It made good sense for them. Everything was moved off-site and took care of all their needs. We provided a complete solution for them with all the monitoring, the help desk, and also backup recovery through this solution. Next slide, please. The second solution was another customer of ours, was Mac Advertising. This is a very straightforward infrastructure as a service application. They had essentially a CRM application that they wanted to move to the cloud because their servers were aging, and they just did not want to spend the $4,000 to $6,000 on new servers. So we came in essentially with 4 virtual servers, and the servers are sized based upon the applications that we're bringing in and using essentially a remote desktop service to access these server applications. So we use the Continuum NOC dock to be able to do the remote server care for us. So they're monitoring the servers, patching the servers, reporting to us, and then we purchase the service through our cloud provider, back-end storage and SQL licenses, and then the CALs, which are needed for the number of users accessing these servers. And so the total monthly on that was 2,620. And again, this was something that made great sense to them because they now had everything out in the cloud from a reliability standpoint. And also they did not have to make any investments in their own internal infrastructure. And it was further made good sense to them because they also brought in a fiber connection. Next slide, please, Derek. So on the financial side of it, essentially when you combine cloud services the way we've done with also the monitoring and the MSP services, your margin can be really pretty healthy. The statement for most cloud service providers as far as the general margin that you see in the marketplace is about 30–35%. And when you now add in the MSP services, you can really help bring that up, as you can see in both these cases, over 50%. Trimark was a bit of a unique situation. I don't think maybe that margin is something that was early in the market space, but I think with the other products and services there, you can look to a 50% margin. So these are two customers that we've used to take out to cloud. They're infrastructure service, desktop to service. Of course, we're taking our other customers out to the cloud, with other applications. We're taking them with email, not making it as much, but making a few dollars per client and looking to add a number of other products as we go forward, because we certainly view that the opportunity is going to be to really provide a number of services to our customers that are in the cloud. A term that I use is the cloud broker for our customer, and using Continuum for the monitoring and reporting for us. We have been using the Sync 724, the data program. It's going to be a fabulous product when it comes out. So we're very excited about that. I'll turn it over to Brian for questions.
Sure. Any questions for Mark at this point?
Yes, Mark,
Attendees are now unmuted.
Mark, this is Scott Berlin, Charlie.
Hi, Scott.
What was Trimark or LAC doing before this?
So both customers had traditional infrastructure. They had aging servers on site that they were needing to make a decision. They've reached, their servers were 3 to 5 years old. They needed to upgrade their software. They needed to upgrade to 2012, which required the hardware to be upgraded. So at that point in time, it drove them to come to us and want to evaluate both solutions, an on-prem and a cloud solution. And in both cases, there really wasn't any decision as far as going with on-prem. They recognized that really it's much better to go out to the cloud and no longer have to be responsible for maintaining this hardware as they go forward. It will be updated as necessary, OS is updated, etc.
This is Darren in Charlotte. I got a question about the setup fee that were on those two examples. Is that part of the gross margin?
No, it's not. The setup fee is the one time that we charge to go ahead and do the virtualization, get them up and running, and do the training for them.
Mark, this is David with StarTel Systems. How are the OSs handled in that? I took an initial look at C3, but I never got that deep into it.
Right. We're not using C3 at this time. We virtualized both these clients prior to C3 coming out. And C3 at the moment is using AWS as the back end, although they will be looking to other providers. But the standard way OSs are handled in infrastructure as a service is you'll purchase a server with a certain number of CPUs and a certain amount of RAM, and then you'll have an OS loaded on top of that. And it can be either provided by the infrastructure service, or you can provide that yourself, depending upon what licensing you have available.
Okay, excellent. Why don't we save any other questions for Mark until the end, and then let Derek push forward with the presentation.
All right. Hey, everyone. If you can hear me okay, let me go ahead and mute my phone again in case anyone else goes on hold. I'll unmute it at the end of my part of the presentation here for questions.
The attendees are now muted.
Okay, so I think most of the people on the phone, I've either met you face-to-face at the CAG event or at least talked to you on the phone or via email. So once again, my name is Derek Owen. I'm the Senior Technical Specialist for Continuum, working directly with CAG in our telecom vertical. First thing we're going to talk about today is our infrastructure as a service, which is our C3 offering. We will go ahead and lead from this into Sync 24/7. And then we'll open it up for Q&A in the last 10 or 15 minutes of the hour that we have set here. So let's hop into it. So showing the value of moving infrastructure to the cloud. Okay, there are a lot of things that go along with this, but what most partners, the best way to look at this is improve cash flow with rent versus own. They're not responsible for owning the hardware, maintaining the hardware. That responsibility is sent off to the person that is hosting the infrastructure in the cloud. Flexibility to scale up or scale down is also an additional huge benefit. What that means is if you have a company today that you go out and you sell a standalone box to, and this company right now, they have 15 employees, but they are looking to grow over the next 18 months, 24 months, that at the end of that 24 months, you might have to do a pretty significant hardware upgrade, whether it be hardware, memory, storage, whatever it may be. When that server is being hosted in the cloud, you have the ability to go to that cloud provider and say, hey, can we add some additional storage to this? Can we get some additional CPU processors with this without having to go through that full-on process of mandatory downtime to upgrade a CPU when you're dealing with hardware? All that stuff's able to be done directly in the cloud. Mobility for employees. Everyone knows that you either have a tablet or a smartphone and you want to be able to access your email and files and documents from wherever you're at. When everything is hosted directly in the cloud, you don't have to have access directly to that LAN or VPN into it. It just makes it a lot more accessible for people on mobile devices to be more productive and more efficiently use their time when the data and that infrastructure and those servers and that type of stuff are going into the cloud. You look at saving money in the long run without having to maintain that hardware on site. And then security and reliability, especially with us, and Mark had spoke to this earlier. Our infrastructure as a service at this point is basically a pass-through directly to Amazon Web Services. So with Amazon Web Services, it doesn't get any more secure or any more reliable for a hosted infrastructure. The main thing, and Mark, didn't mention this, but I kind of took this from him, that both of the clients, whether it be LAC or I forget the other client's name, is that it was time for them to do an upgrade. They're coming to end of life on the hardware. That's the key. So time to conversation. So the most of the time moves like this are related to a hardware refresh cycle. So if you know that these servers have been in place 4 years, over the next 12 months, we need to figure out a plan to either get new additional hardware in place, or are we going to move this particular client to the cloud? It's all built around the life cycle of the hardware that they're currently in now. It's going to make that conversation a lot easier to have. Okay, so your clients have infrastructure options. Option number one is buy more hardware. Now, we're not saying that everything today is going to be able to go to the cloud. You're going to have some instances. For instance, I have another partner that I manage that is slowly taking things to the cloud, but he actually specializes in manufacturing facilities. So within these manufacturing facilities, we're looking at a lot more hybrid type environment. What I mean by that is they're able to take their standard accounting stuff up into the cloud. They're able to take their email up into the cloud. But for these huge raids and these machines that are run from these local servers, there is no option to get those servers up in the cloud. So they've taken all the industry standard stuff that we know and we have had success with, and we see running successfully in the cloud and move that up. But there is still a need for some sort of on-site hardware. Now, that's not going to be the case if you go into a doctor's office or a small accounting firm. More often than not, everything there is going to be able to take into the cloud. But option one that they have is buying more hardware. Okay. Option number two is adopt software as a service type applications. That would be your Office 365. That would be your just simply hosted Exchange in the cloud, and still maintain some sort of local server for all the network management, Active Directory, domain controller, that type of stuff. Or option three is move the entire infrastructure to the cloud. So you have a few different options here. Some of them might be hybrid. Some of them might be all the way to, everything is able to be moved into the cloud. So you have a few different options, or your clients are going to have a few different options when looking at, their infrastructure and what they want to do with it as they move forward and they continue to grow their business. So, getting to what we're offering, we offer what we call C3, that's the Continuum Cloud Console. It's an infrastructure as a service management solution. If you see down at the bottom of my picture over here on the right, it's Amazon Web Services. They provide the provision, monitor, secure, audit, and then usage of that is all managed through Amazon Web Services. The great benefit about using our product, C3, which takes you basically right to Amazon Web Services, is it's fully integrated with the Continuum RMN. When you set a server up and you bring it up and it starts running up in our C3 environment, it immediately is going to get one of our remote monitoring and management, our RMN agents installed on. So you'll get the same level of support, database issue resolution, any type of issue resolution on that server is still going to be managed by our team. We don't care if it's in the cloud or not, we're going to manage it the exact same way. Coming back to what Keith had mentioned a couple times earlier, is the single pane of glass management. So without having to go out to another vendor, everything is going to be managed through the Continuum, through our Continuum management portal. Okay, that's going to include, once again, MD, mobile device management, desktop, server, antivirus, Vault, and now our C3 offering, our infrastructure as a service. And then it's easy to create, manage, and monitor virtual servers in the cloud. A lot of our partners are saying, hey, when I go to these other vendors, I get a little overwhelmed in the fact that, okay, well, I have 115 different CPU and memory setup and configurations I can have. I don't need all of those options, or I really don't need 142 different operating systems. I need to know, can I get the latest Microsoft 2012 stuff up in the cloud? So we've narrowed that down and made it a lot simpler where you don't have all of those options. We polled a lot of our partners, felt what would be the most common and most utilized products that are available out there in our partner that we've got together with. And we've narrowed that down and made the setup and selection and creation of those virtual environments a lot simpler and a lot easier. And once again, everything is done through our portal. Okay, so that's a bit on C3, and C3 is currently available today. The next thing we're going to get into is file sync and share. So I'm not sure who all we have on the phone here today, but myself and Mark Connolly engaged some presentations in Nashville where we talked about this briefly. Mark Wadnizak, who was on earlier, is also, as he mentioned, he's a member of our beta test partner group for file sync and share as well. And let me explain a little more in detail what that is. Before we get too far into this, I want to let everyone know that we're not releasing pricing today, so I know as soon as I unmute this phone, everyone's going to know what the rebates are and what the pricing is for the solution. We're not releasing that today. We're going to work as we move out here over the next couple of weeks, getting all that information available through TAG, through Brian, to the partner base. So let's just kind of keep those out. We're not going to have that today, but I will field a lot of questions at the end here. So just kind of market demand and what exactly SIG 24/7 is it's basically, what people in the industry are asking for is more access to devices, to information and data, whether it be mobile, from a tablet, from a PC, all that type of stuff. Easier way for people to collaborate through the cloud. Okay, Small to medium-sized business file sync and share usage is growing dramatically. I'm not going to get into these numbers here pretty quick. Some of the other ones ran over, so I'm going to run through this slide pretty quick. But we see some numbers coming up here where the adoption over the next 2 to 3 years. Right now, we see about 21% of SMBs currently using some sort of file sync and share. That would be a product like Anchor or Dropbox or something like that. We expect that to grow by over 110% over the next 2 to 3 years, where we're going to see 45% of SMBs using some sort of file sync and share technology. And then the last one, market trends, file sync and share adoption. There was a survey that was taken by Talking Cloud 100, where we're seeing over 45% of respondents currently offer. So this is basically managed services providers that currently have an offering out there of some sort of file sync and share solution. Okay, and this is it right here, 45%. 2 years old, choosing their 2015. Let's get into what Continuum Sync is. Like I said, you guys are getting an early announcement here. We'll make a full announcement with pricing available to you guys here in the near future. But what it is, it's basically a business-grade file sync and share program. So it gives anyone at a client site that you sell the service to, gives them the ability to securely access and share files from any device, any location, at any time. So if anyone on the phone, I'm assuming a lot of people have Dropbox accounts, you know how easy that is for you to copy family photos up for the in-laws to get them and things like that. But that's not secure. It's not secure for the business side of things either. So what we've done is we've locked it down, and now it is a business class level type security that is attached to our Sync 24/7 offer. It's easy to use, business grade security, purpose built for the channel. So this is made for you guys to turn around. Sell this as your own offering. It's a Continuum-owned solution. So it's not someone that we've partnered with. This is our technology that we built out for our partners to turn around and sell this to their end clients as it's just a much higher level of secure sharing option as you would see with some of the other ones that are in the market. Okay? It's designed for the Sync 24/7. The main differences are it's designed for the user. It's easy to use, and it's feature rich as well. So what that means is we built things that are very easy. So if you want to show someone a PowerPoint on your tablet, 90% of the time you're not going to have something to run PowerPoint correctly. The product has it comes with a reader built into it. So it doesn't matter what device you're on. If it's a file that you can upload, whether it's Excel, PowerPoint, you're going to be able to view that from within that mobile device, from within that laptop, from within that tablet. It's built for business. It's much more enhanced security than any of the other products that are available. And collaboration features that keep teams in sync. So I keep mentioning that, okay, if you want to access a PowerPoint presentation that you put in the cloud, but let's say that you're on the road, corporate office has made a couple last-minute changes to the PowerPoint presentation that you're about to give here in the next 5 minutes. All you have to do from your tablet or from your whatever you're presenting from, hop into the file sync and share, grab down the latest version, and you can simply run it right from that device there. So it's easy to share, make sure everyone's up to date, and all your employees within that organization are going to have all of the same and most up-to-date information available. And it's also packaged for the channel. Once we get pricing out, it's going to be priced and packaged to make the margins are going to be very similar to what you see on our managed services stuff, and it's designed for the channel. Same thing as we said before, and everyone that works with us knows it's a single pane of glass, all available, all able to be managed right through our portal. Okay, so selling the value of file sync and share. When you go in and you sit down and talk with a business owner, and they say, "Well, I don't necessarily need file sync and share. Half of my team's already using Dropbox." This is what's really going to drive that home, or the client challenges and the business value. So employee introduced apps are consumer grade. So products, like I mentioned again, like Dropbox, are a very consumer grade product, which can allow for unintentional data leakage. Unmanaged applications are risky. For example, if an employee leaves, he's still going to have access to that information that's in Dropbox, right? So what this does is it's going to make it very easy to sell the business value in it. users, if you want everyone in marketing to have access, you give the 4 people in marketing access and the business owner, and it's only going to be those 5. They're going to be able to see the information available. You can access files from anywhere, from any device, and you're also going to have the ability to read, view, and in most cases, edit those files from any type of device. And it's built for business with an advanced admin control and permissions as well. So the personal secretary of an end client wants to manage it on their own. You have the ability to hand that off. If you and your team or your company want to manage this as well, you're going to have all those admin controls, and they're available from right within our portal. Some additional tips for selling success. I'm going to run through these last slides here pretty quick. I hope we have a lot of questions, and I want to make sure we have enough time for questions at the end. So tip 1, decisions are made by the tech and the business buyer. So tech buyers care more about the security, right? Business buyers care more about enabling employee productivity, mobility, and collaboration. So in a case like this, with us having the productivity, the mobility, the collaboration, all the reader tools that come with the product, along with the security, both the tech and business buyer are going to be very interested in this offering. Tip number 2, get your clients on board with a pilot. So the solution is easy to use and very addictive once you get up and running it. We've been using it internally. I know I set a personal family member of mine up with a Sync 24/7 account, and we're using it much more than we even ever used Dropbox in the past, knowing that it's secure and it's locked down, and we're the only ones that can see that information. Okay. During the pilot, you can schedule check-ins to encourage usage and feedback. So you're going to have the ability to basically offer an evaluation to your clients to have them play with it, use it, and once they start using it, if they effectively use it, they go through the simple training process, they're not going to want to give it up. And then tip number 3, practice what you preach. We're using it internally. I've used it at least twice today. So start using Sync 24/7 on your own when it's available. You can send secure document links to clients. It's really easy to give a demo so when you have it on your cell phone and show them how you can load a PowerPoint or pull up a full version of Excel or view the document that accounting just sent over to you. Practice what you preach. Use the solution. And I'm sure Mark can attest to this, that his team are more than likely probably using it pretty heavily in-house. And from what I've heard, they're very happy with what they've seen as a product so far. Pricing and packaging tips. So sell based on what's important. Storage and security are key. Consider offering a few packaging options. Some partners that we've seen, this covers this on the next slide as well, are bundling it in with managed services and a few different package options. What we mean by that is someone that's currently, say, like a gold partner of yours, and you want to move them up to the highest level, which would be platinum, include file system shares as an added benefit. We see it done with a lot of other IT services, and then offer a prepaid discounts to encourage annual contracts. So if someone comes on board, their 15-day, 2-week evaluation is up. All right, well, if you guys are going to move forward for the year, we offer some additional discounts on 12-month agreements as well. Just another way to get people interested to make sure they're still using it. The issue that we don't see is once partners, once an end client is using the product, and we see this really heavily in-house, is once people rely on it and start to use it, no one's going to want to give it up. It's that easy to use. And the last thing, we'll just finish up here. So we will provide products and services that ensure our partners' success as they transition clients into the cloud. So infrastructure, we can help with the migration, public cloud hosting, monitoring, backup, security alerting. Applications, we're going to offer file sync and share, line of business apps with a client, and then voice over, and these are things that you guys bring to the table, voice over IPs, compliance, that sort of stuff. And then access, mobile and desktop access, single sign-on, security policy, enforcement are all some additional things that can be done as kind of an additional slide here. When your clients go to the cloud, these are some additional things that we are able to help you with here, and then that you'd be able to add some additional benefits as well. Last thing I want to mention is if we still are offering a discount to our tag partners for our Navigate conference coming up September 21st to the 23rd in Boston. And it is tag or nav tag, NAVTAG, is the discount offering to receive $200 off registration. We're pretty close to being full, so if anyone on the phone is interested in attending, I would try to get on registering this week. That is, if we still have some spots available. Be sure to sign up. Be the first line for Sync 24/7. We'll keep you guys, everyone at tag in the loop. We'll work with Brian and everyone to make sure you guys have all the latest information. And then lastly, to sign up for Navigate, just go to continuum.net/navigate. I'm going to go ahead and unmute the line and take questions. Put one unmute here.
The attendees are now unmuted.
All right, guys, we got just over 10 minutes here. We have Keith, myself, Brian, and Mark, I think, still all on. We'll be able to start fielding questions. If you guys want to try to take turns and start asking away, we'll answer as questions as we can here.
Yeah, hey, this is Keith Foote. There's just one other thing I'd like to add to Derek's presentation, which was really, really great. And that is, and he did a good job outlining this, but the fact of the matter is there are a lot of competitive offerings out there in File Sync and Share that your customers are using. And none of that stuff, or very little of it, is HIPAA compliant. So there's a real opportunity to go out to the doctor's office, dentist's office, anything in the medical field, and support businesses that are now really under the threat of being kind of cracked down with government audits and things like that, and offer them a File Sync and Share offering that's fully HIPAA compliant, as is everything else that we do. But there's a great conversation starter for you guys if you're interested in that.
Good, thanks. Thanks, Keith. Any questions? Tag members? Hello, anyone out there?
Yeah, Derek, can you hear me? This is Scott from Liberty Tech.
Oh, yeah, hey, Scott. Yeah, I can hear you. How's it going?
Good. I've got a bunch of questions, actually. I just shot you an email. I don't know if you want to peruse them real quick and just address ones that you think are relevant. I'm coming more from a perspective we're already reselling Anchor, and so we're kind of looking for some comparative.
Okay. Yeah, I'll actually follow up with you after this. Some good questions there. I see if anyone else has any. I'll follow up with you offline, Scott. If we don't get any questions, I can kind of start to run down through some of these, but we'll see if anyone else has any questions. Cool. Anyone else have any questions, either on C3 or anything Continuum related, actually, preferably what we covered today. If not, we can answer all types of questions. I guess I did that good of a job. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run down through some of Scott's questions. Scott sent me over quite a few questions here, so we'll just kind of start to go down through some of these. So is it brandable? Yes, it is going to be a brandable option for you guys to turn around and basically sell it as your own offering. Can administration be delegated to the client's IT department? Yes, they're going to need limited access to the portal, which as long as you have your access to the portal branded, it'll remain branded through and through. So yeah, you set them up as a lower level user, they can come in, you can just give them simply access to Sync 24/7. As the product rolls out, becomes a little more mature, the plan is that we're going to have a Sync 24/7 portal itself, where you're going to be able to give people access to it. Does it support file locking? Yes, it does support file locking. So two people cannot work on the same file at the same time. If it's open in someone's portal to be edited, no one else can edit it. But if someone has it open in just simply view mode, people will be able to make editing changes on the back end. It doesn't support database files, QuickBooks Access, etc. So right now, the readers that are built in are so all the files that it does natively are basically everything in the Office suite of products, PowerPoint, Excel, Access, all that stuff can be loaded. I'll have to double check on some of the additional database files that can be read through the built-in reader for like QuickBooks and things like that, but Access is part of that. It does support guest sharing, and then it's just road tested. So right now, we've had a lot of partners that have come to us that, hey, we signed up and with a competitor, we went live with it, and it seems that the testing wasn't completed. They were having issues. I heard a couple of the competitors were constantly going down. Things had a break. They were working with the technicians, developers to get that stuff back up and running. That's what we're doing right now. It is being road tested right now. And Mark, are you still on the call? You may have lost him. You may have hopped off. But you're currently using Sync. I mean, what is you and your guys' feedback been? I know we haven't had hardly any downtime in the beta since in about the last month or so. But what have you guys seen as far as reliability go, uptime, and things like that?
No questions on reliability and uptime. We're still getting our hands around the product. I mean, it is really extensible. So there's so many applications that you can use it for, other than just, your Dropbox type of applications. We love it. It's a fabulous product.
Good. Glad to hear it. Okay, guys, I think we are winding down. We got about 5 minutes. I'll open it up to any other last questions that may have come up while I was kind of going through Scott's list here. Does anyone have any questions continuum related or any questions on Navigate?
I've got a question. This is Kelly from Mark, if you have a second. So in your findings from the cloud offerings that you're providing, are you doing any kind of domain authentication and security server on site there, or do you have anything that you are finding that you have to leave on site that can't be shipped off to the cloud?
So we always leave a domain controller on site, and then everything else can be moved off site.
Okay.
If you have obviously a very small office, you probably wouldn't have to leave the main controller on site, but we found the best practice is to leave one on site.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And congratulations to your new promotion.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
That's exciting.
Yes, it is. I'm having fun.
Any other questions? If not, Brian, I'll go ahead and turn it back over to you, or Keith, if you have any last words here. I think that's all I have. I was kind of hoping for a few more questions as I kind of rushed through the last couple slides. But if not, Mark or Brian, if you guys have anything to add, or Brian, if you want to close up for us here.
Yeah, no. One last call for questions. Okay. Couple things. One is, as always, we have, again, Continuum is a great partner of ours. They're an elite sponsor. If you go to the strategic partner page, click on it, you will find Keith's contact information as well as Derek's contact information, so you can get in touch with them anytime. Again, if you're planning on going to Navigate, I will be there. Mark is giving a presentation along with Dale Stein. Scott Jones, who's on this call today, is giving a presentation at the conference, and Don Vire. So we'll have a good representation of tag members there speaking as well as attending. So if you haven't done so already, take a hard look at attending their conference. And as always, please feel free to contact any one of us here at TAG to support your efforts in the field, and we'll do whatever we can to increase your productivity out there and help you become more effective out there. So with that, I think we'll just want to say one final thanks to Mark for his time and sharing some of the insights of what he's doing up at VoiceSmart. I would like to thank Derek and Keith for their contributions, as well as Mike Barnes worked on this as well. So again, thank you for everyone for all of your time. We appreciate it, and again, we're available when you need us. So have a great rest of the week, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.